Falling is universal. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, or what you've achieved. Sooner or later, life knocks us down. We fall because we lose a job. We fall because a meaningful relationship crumbles. We fall because we face rejection, failure, and overwhelming doubts. But there's a profound reason for this. Why do we fall? To learn how to rise again. This may sound simple, but let's reflect deeply on this truth. When we're on the ground, bruised by life, the world seems like a cruel and indifferent place. Maybe you feel like that right now. Maybe you've lost something precious, a dream, an opportunity, or even a loved one. You might be battling internal struggles that no one around you can see. Today, thousands of people woke up feeling empty. They carry the weight of anxiety, depression, and failure. Some are drowning in debt. Others are dealing with rejection or the constant fear of not being good enough. Maybe you are one of those people. Society pressures us to be perfect. We show smiles on social media, but hide tears in our pillows. And when life knocks us down, it feels like we're alone in the fight. But the truth is, no one is immune to falling. It doesn't matter how successful, confident, or happy someone appears. Everyone faces moments when the darkness feels unbearable. But what separates those who rise and triumph from those who stay down? We fall because life isn't meant to be a straight line. Every obstacle, every mistake, and every difficulty carries a hidden lesson. In the moment, it might feel like the world is against you. But these falls are the tools that shape your strength, character, and determination. Imagine a craftsman working on a piece of metal. For the metal to become a sword, it must be heated, hammered, and molded. Without this painful process, it would never have the strength to fulfill its purpose. In the same way, falling is the hammer that transforms us into something greater. Before we talk about how to rise, we need to acknowledge the pain. Ignoring it solves nothing. Pretending everything is fine doesn't make the problem go away. Maybe you're dealing with financial struggles. Your account is in the red, and the bills keep piling up. The weight of providing for yourself or your family is crushing. Maybe your struggles are emotional, like anxiety, depression, or the constant fear of failure. Or maybe it's rejection, the pain of not being chosen, of not being loved, or of being discarded. For others, it's loss, that emptiness left behind when someone or something important is taken from you. These are real pains, and it's essential to let yourself feel them. You're not weak for admitting you're hurt. On the contrary, this is the first step toward healing. Now picture yourself on the ground. Maybe you've been there for a long time. Maybe you're thinking, I don't know if I can do this. But here's the truth. You can. Rising isn't easy, but it's possible. The strength to rise is within you, even if it feels distant now. And when you do rise, you don't just change your own story. You inspire others around you. Think about the people you admire. Heroes, leaders, artists, entrepreneurs. Do you know what they have in common? They fell over and over again, but they got back up, stronger and more determined than before. Falling is not the end. It's the beginning of something greater. So how do we rise? First, accept reality. Admitting that you've fallen isn't failure, it's courage. Acknowledge where you are now, without guilt or shame. Then, shift your perspective. See the fall as an opportunity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Every setback carries a lesson that can transform your life. Reassess your steps. Reflect on what went wrong, but don't dwell on the past. Use your mistakes as stepping stones to reach something greater. Surround yourself with support. Don't try to rise alone. Talk to trusted people. Seek guidance, motivation, and help. You don't have to carry the world on your shoulders. And finally, take the first step. It may be small, but any movement toward your goal is progress. Start where you are, with what you have. You will fall again. That's inevitable, but every time you rise, you grow stronger. Face life as a constant battle, and know that you're capable of winning. Remember the stories that inspire us. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison before becoming a symbol of freedom and leadership. These people are no different from you. They also felt pain, doubt, and despair. But they chose to rise, and that's the key. It's a choice. You might feel alone right now, but thousands of people around the world are facing similar struggles. The difference lies in the decision to rise. You have the power to turn your pain into strength, your doubt into determination, and your fall into a leap towards something extraordinary. Why do we fall? This is a question that echoes in all of our minds at some point in life. When we find ourselves on the ground, hurt, defeated, bearing the weight of our failures, we ask, why is this happening to me? But the truth is, falling is part of the process. It's what teaches us to rise stronger, more determined, and more prepared to face what lies ahead. The truth is that no one goes through life without falling. From the moment we learn to walk, stumbling is part of the journey. But as children, something drives us to try again. Falling is never the end. It's merely a moment of learning. So why, as adults, do we forget this vital lesson? We fall because life is unpredictable. It throws challenges at us that test our strength, patience, and resilience. Perhaps you're facing one of those challenges right now. Maybe you've lost something you deeply loved, a relationship that ended, a job that didn't work out, or even faith in yourself. Perhaps you're surrounded by the silence of long nights, where anxiety and fear scream louder than hope. Falling reminds us of our humanity. It puts us face to face with our limitations and challenges us to overcome what we once thought was impossible. But here's the crucial point. The fall does not define you. What defines you is what you choose to do after it. Often we fall because we trusted too much, because we took risks, because we dreamed big. And that, in itself, is an act of courage. There is no shame in failing. Shame lies in giving up trying. Every fall brings the opportunity for a fresh start, to write a new page, to build something even greater. Think about the great stories of overcoming. Every hero has had their moment on the ground. Nelson Mandela spent years in prison before becoming a symbol of freedom. Oprah Winfrey faced rejection before becoming one of the most influential figures in the world. Michael Jordan, considered the greatest basketball player of all time, was cut from his high school team. They fell, but chose to rise. The process of getting back up starts with the decision not to give up. When you're on the ground, it's easy to get lost in thoughts of failure, doubt, and self-pity. But look within. There's a strength there, even if you can't see it yet. It's the same strength that helped you take your first step as a child. It's the same strength that has already helped you overcome obstacles in the past. It's still there, waiting for you to call upon it. Rising isn't quick or easy. Often it's one step at a time, a daily battle against the inner voice that says you're not capable. But every small step matters. Every decision to keep going is an act of courage. When you rise, something magical happens. You realize that the fall, no matter how painful it was, wasn't in vain. It brought lessons you wouldn't have learned otherwise. It revealed your strength, your resilience, and your ability to turn pain into growth. The world isn't kind to those who give up, but it respects and admires those who, even on the ground, find the strength to try again. Because deep down, What we all seek is not a life without falls, but the ability to rise after each one. Remember, no matter how low you've fallen, the ground will never be your destination. The ground is merely a starting point. Every time you rise, you prove that you are stronger than the circumstances, stronger than the challenges, and stronger than the voices that doubted you. Look around you. How many people have overcome situations that seemed impossible? And if they could, why couldn't you? What sets those who triumph apart is the choice to keep going. It's the determination to turn the impossible into the possible. So why do we fall? We fall to remind ourselves that we are human. We fall to discover our true strength. We fall to understand that failure is not the end, but a chapter in the journey. Life isn't about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you rise. Get up now. It doesn't matter what has happened. It doesn't matter how much it hurts. The next chapter of your life is waiting to be written, and it will be even more incredible because you had the courage to start again. Life won't stop knocking you down, but you don't have to stop getting back up. We fall to understand the value of victory. We fall to learn the importance of resilience. We fall to discover that, even in our weaknesses, there's a strength we never knew we had. If you're on the ground right now, look up. The world is still waiting for you. The next chapter of your story is in your hands. Rise, fight, win. Because you were born for this.